Hello, and welcome to another Kleros community call, second one in this new format. This is Wednesday, 27th of August, 2025. Um, this is a very special week for the life of Kleros because something very special happened last week and that we are announcing today. In particular, regarding the interfaces between Kleros and the real legal world. I'm going to share my presentation to tell you a bit about what's going on. Let me see if I can. Okay, can you see the screen? Should be sharing now. Yeah, you can share. You can see it. All good.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, we are still learning a bit on how this new format works, so bear with us for a while. What is this very pretentious title of Kleros and the law? So when we think about the adoption of Kleros, we typically use this figure of four circles that need to align in order for Kleros to be actually adopted, and this involves having technical matters, market requirements, legal requirements, and ethical requirements. And all of this needed to be aligned in order for actual Kleros adoption to happen. So the challenges that we have, first, as I mentioned, technical. And this is the kind of research that William typically does about how we can build a system that can withstand collusion, bribery, attacks of 51%, and other different type of attacks against the security of the protocol. Then we have to address market challenges in the sense of what are the industries where these decentralized justice models will be more prevalent and will have more adoption, and also how Kleros interacts with other technologies for dispute resolution. In particular, these days, what is in the mind of people is, okay, how does Kleros interact with the world of AI? We have been researching Kleros and AI since 2019, actually. I speak about this in my talk of HCC, the last talk. It's online, you can watch it. And at some point, we will also do another call for the community where we will address the particular challenges of AI and Kleros, but that is going to be for another day. Then there are like ethical challenges. As you very well know, Kleros is based on a very different understanding of how jurors are selected, how they are incentivized, and this needs to be seen as ethical by the users. Otherwise, they just will not use it. And the last concentric circle is about legal elements. So it's about, is Kleros legally valid? Rulings done by Kleros are binding for parties, and this has been a topic that was researched for a long time already, since the very early days of the protocol. In particular, most of the discussions were done in the context of the New York Convention. This was a convention signed in the context of the United Nations in 1958. So it's a moment, post-war moment, an increase in multinational trade, investment across borders. So we start having disputes, and these disputes start to be resolved through arbitration because they are cross-jurisdictional. So back then, in 1958, there is an agreement between the countries who signed this New York Convention that says roughly that the decisions made by tribunals, arbitral tribunals, constituted in the right way, will be binding and enforceable in all of the countries that are part of the convention. So this is the context in which mostly the discussions happened about the enforceability of Kleros. And we had, over time, a few important milestones that we can mention. The first big milestone was what is called now the Jalisco case that happened in 2021. This was done in the context of the Kleros Fellowship of Justice. There was one fellow that wanted to test if Kleros could be seen as binding in Mexican law. And so this fellow who is Mauricio Virués, he developed a contract for a landlord and tenant contract, and in that contract for a leasing agreement, he put a clause that designated Kleros as arbitration or dispute solution methodology in case there was a dispute in the contract. So the dispute happened, and the landlord sued the tenant for not paying the rent on time. And the case was sent to Kleros. Kleros made a decision. Here you can see the decision. We had 3 jurors, and there was an unanimous decision where the 3 jurors were in favor of the landlord, in the sense that they accepted that the tenant had not paid the rent in time. So they made a decision, and then this was sent to a traditional court in Jalisco, asking the judge to enforce the ruling. So the judge saw the contract for the arbitration proceeding that was done, and then, enforced the ruling, asked for the eviction of the property within 5 days. So this was the first very important topic, a very important milestone in the world of dispute resolution and blockchain. And you can, if you want to check online, you have lots of articles and papers about this case. One of them that I can recommend is by Maxime Chevalier. Is a French lawyer who was living in Mexico, and he wrote this blog post for the Clue Arbitration blog about what this Mexican court decision meant for the future of arbitration. So this was the first step in this world of Kleros interfacing with the traditional legal system. And then also in Mexico, in 2024, there was this new legislation enacted by the Mexican Congress that was called the General Law of Alternative Dispute Resolution Mechanisms. You can see here it was enacted on January 26, 2024. And this is the first piece of legislation in the world that we know of that accepts decentralized justice as a valid method for decision making in dispute resolution. And there you can see, of course, the piece of legislation doesn't mention Kleros, but it does define decentralized justice in the way that we define it. It's a protocol with community participation through incentives, schemes, open collaboration. So everything that we have been advocating for a while now. And now we have a new, very good news coming from Argentina. This time, my country, it's the disposition 893/2025, and this is going to also be an important milestone in this world of interactions between blockchain arbitration and the world of traditional legal systems. And we have Facu, who is a policy specialist at Kleros, to tell us a bit about what this is and what this means for Kleros and for the future of adoption. And so Facu, welcome to our Kleros TV. Please first introduce yourself so people get to know you, and then tell us a bit about what this is and why it's important.
All right, thank you, Fede. My name is Facundo Trots. I'm Argentinian. I'm a lawyer. I've been working in Kleros for some time, and we've been trying to push Kleros into more institutional spheres. And now we've seen recently this news that is quite good for the ecosystem, for the centralized justice. And let me explain briefly a little bit about it and what's been changed in this resolution. So this resolution is issued by the Argentinian government. It's especially the Subsecretary of Consumer Protection. And it introduces change to something that we call Defensor del Cliente. That is basically like a consumer ombudsman. It's a system that is it's optional for companies, in which they can appoint a person, the defensor or the ombudsman, that is dedicated to resolving conflicts with their customers. This allows customers to submit claims directly with the company and to be solved quickly and efficiently. If a consumer disagrees with the resolution, they retain all the original tools, the original avenues to resolve the dispute. Basically, we'll be going through Consumer Protection Office or filing a claim in the competent court. So what were the changes that were done to this regime? Where basically they are the requirements, reporting requirements are relaxed. So this is kind of an incentive, makes it a little bit more efficient for companies to adopt this regime. But it also makes some changes that allow for online dispute resolution systems like Kleros to be used in this under this regime. So, for example, this new resolution allows the defensor del cliente or the ombudsman not to be a single individual, but to be a group selected randomly from a broader pool. This aligns perfectly with how Kleros works. The other important modification is that it allows for a more digitalized and simplified process. So now parties can express their will and their consent to the resolution but via digital means like electronic signature. So this also aligns with how Kleros works. And why is this important for Kleros? Well, basically because now companies can use Kleros they can use Kleros under this new regime to provide more efficient and less cost and have less operational costs to solve disputes with their consumers. For consumers, it's really important because now they can solve their disputes under 5 days. Resolution is free for consumers. It's fully online. And of course, it's really important because given the economical incentives and how Kleros works, it is an impartial resolution. This is different from how it was structured before the Defensor del Cliente, which was kind of an internal, lawyer from within the structure of the company. Now it can be an external figure like Kleros. So this shows that it's a little bit more legitimate than what it was before. And within the right strategy, a company can appoint a court in Kleros, and that court to work as the defensor del cliente, as the consumer ombudsman, being the first decentralized online court in history that will work under this structure. It's also really important, and this will be my last point. It's really important because it means that if the consumer accepts the resolution of Kleros, then it will be final and binding for both parties. This will bring more legal certainty for Kleros in these specific use cases. So this is the first step. We have some things we have to work out. We will see if companies are willing to adopt this new regime, but we are confident that this will bring better and faster and more efficient resolution for consumer disputes. And hopefully, Kleros will be the tool that will be used for solving consumer disputes in the future in Argentina.
Cool. You mentioned that so there's going to be a court that is going to be working as a defender of the client. Who can participate in that court? Does this person need some special requirements? Tell us a bit more about how this will work.
Yeah. So if we create a court that will work as defensor del cliente, as a consumer ombudsman, the requirement of the resolution is that at least one person has to be a lawyer with experience in consumer law. So we could create a court that has only lawyers that have some kind of experience in consumer law. There might be other configurations, but that will be the ideal one.
Cool. I think it's also, worth mentioning how we have the interactions between our software development strategy and how this aligns with our legal strategy, because this would not have been possible with the traditional any anonymous jurors configuration, right? Maybe you can explain a bit about how soulbound tokens make some applications possible that were not before.
Exactly. So with Kleros V2, we have now the possibility of kind of certifying who are going to be the jurors of this court using soulbound tokens. So now it's possible, thanks to the development of Kleros devs, it's not possible for Kleros to be used as a tool in this type of configurations, in this type of regimes. This wouldn't have been possible, as you well said, in Kleros V1. So it's really important that we are moving in this direction.
What are the next steps about this, Facu?
So next steps will be for companies to try this new element, this new tool that is Kleros V2, and we can help these companies that are willing to provide with faster and better online dispute resolution for their users, and help them appoint our Curate, our new or future, or the Curate that we will create in the future, as their consumer ombudsman. And if they do this, and if they are approved by the subsecretary of consumer protection, then they will officially have Kleros as their consumer ombudsman. So it's now up to the companies that want to provide better dispute resolution for the users, to start working together and improve dispute resolution in consumer relationships in Argentina.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Facu. I mean, you will stay here a while. So if people have questions, they can write them, and then we can answer them. I will tell you there are 3 things for people to follow up. First, are you a lawyer with experience in consumer disputes? If you want to participate in the pilot that we are starting to plan, please reach to us at support@kleros.io. So you can put this gene there so people can contact us. So if you're a lawyer with experience in consumer disputes, reach to us, and we want to have you for the pilot. Second, are you a company from Argentina? You want to implement this ombudsman person in your company, and you want to do it in the context of this new regulation and the Kleros? Well, reach to us as well. We want to speak to you, understand your situation, and see if we can help. Third, if you are a regulator from another country and you think this is a cool idea, we would love to work with you as well to try to help you with our experience and with your own regulation to try to implement a model that you can use where Kleros can be selected as a decision-making tool for consumer claims. In the end, you will bring better service for consumers, lower costs, more satisfaction. For companies, it's also cheaper. It will save in legal costs. So everybody wins with cheaper, more efficient, faster access to justice. So thank you, Facu. And you stay here for a while to answer questions, if any. And now we can go to Marcos to give us the update about business development. Yeah, Marcos, go ahead.
Hey, how are you? How's it going? Can you listen to me?
Yeah, all good.
So, working much better than in X. Well, yes, very happy. First of all, very happy with the new resolution. Facundo and Federico too already mentioned the most important things for this, but it's going to open us new doors. So we already started searching for the appropriate jurors, and well, of course, we are starting to look for the first company that is going to implement it. That of course is going to be a big thing. So besides the new resolution, we have some updates from Junín. Remember, Junín is a jurisdiction that is using Kleros in the same way that it was being used it's being used by Mendoza, an Argentinian jurisdiction. And the new is that we have some new cases in process that are going to be created in the next days. So if you are a juror in the court, well, pay attention that we most probably are going to be receiving some new cases soon. Then about Mendoza, remember with Mendoza, we have an agreement. We started, I think it was at the beginning of last year. And now they want a court with just local jurors resolve their cases. So what we are, we are going to go to Mendoza and to Lavalle too in October. So the idea is to train these new jurors are going to be the ones that resolve the future cases in Lavalle and Mendoza capital. So those are the main tasks from this week. It was a week with a lot of movement. Then we have some other tasks that are not very interesting, as I know, anonymization tools and that stuff that is not very interesting for the community goal.
Marcos. Well, thank you for this, our business development. This we are learning as we go. So if you have a suggestion for improvement of the dynamic of the Kleros community call, we can implement the suggestions. We will try to over time do like thematic community calls. So one part is going to be about the update of the weekly things that are happening with the project. And then another part is going to be like some special guest or some special topic. At some point, it could be Kleros and AI. In another, it could be Kleros in the certifications, Kleros in Peru, Kleros in wherever. So you can have a more important, wider perspective of different aspects that are going on. So yeah, thank you, Marcos. We're going to Fortunato now, who is in charge, as you know, of our business of curation and certification matters. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Hello, thanks, Federico. For the curation highlights from the previous week, we have been mainly focusing on the updates related to Scout, which is the curation of contract metadata. First, we almost completed the new Scout interface, where it will make the experience of participating more smoother, whether you are a pro user and you need more stats, more analytics, or also if you are a beginner and you are approaching curation and contract metadata for the first time. With the new interface, it should be easier for you to take part into this process. The other update is that in the next few days, probably tomorrow or on Friday, we should release the article related to the incentive updates and the policy updates. As you know, we monthly distribute incentive to users who help us growing these registries. And right now, probably the Scout registries are the largest source of contract metadata. So I strongly recommend to follow and to participate, because besides participating to this project that help user being safer on Web3, you also can profit from these. So whether it's with incentives, with bounties, or participating in disputes as a juror. Especially since disputes are increasing in the previous months, we had more and more cases, and it's really a great time to participate as a juror. And a quick mention I wanted to share now is that, as Federico said at the beginning of this call, Kleros Court is open, so anyone can take part. And when a system is open and it's becoming bigger, there are always bad actors trying to grief and trying to profit by manipulating this system. But this is not a problem on court, because as William did a lot of research on defense system to prevent these attacks. And even in the previous week, we had several attacks on court trying to manipulate the outcome of certain dispute to gain profit. But in all of these attacks, the system was able to withstand, and the final ruling was the most appropriate one. So this is a great win, and I also suggest you to navigate through the old cases in court, especially if you plan to join the ecosystem, so you can see how it works, you can see how it can withstand to the attacks. And as a conclusion, I also wanted to mention that besides the Web3 curation related updates, we keep working also on real world verification and curation. So we had the long time pilot with OpenVino for certification of biological wine, and right now we are moving forward with certification of organic milk in Europe, so in a strictly regulated market. And this is something extremely interesting that we will share more information too about this matter in the upcoming weeks. So yeah, these are the main updates from curation.
One thing that I would like to mention about Curate, if I was tracking the number of cases that we had in August, and the cases that we had in July, and we were on track to have a new all-time high in cases this month, right? I think we had a bunch of new cases so the last couple of days. So I think we are almost there, almost 50 cases. So if anyone listening wants to stake and don't know which courts to pick, I think curation is one of the best ones right now.
Definitely.
I think
and also I think the all-time high was in July, was previous month. We had the all-time high in curation cases, and in fact the number of jurors who are staking in curation court is increasing. And having more cases, this also means that if you don't have a large amount of PNK, even if you stake with a relatively small amount of PNK, you still have very good chances to be drawn and to participate. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, interesting. And also, since you mentioned that there might be some people trying to attack the courts, then having more people staking and different players, then you reduce the chance of doing that, and also you have more eyes on the cases, right? Because there might also be, when there's let's say that there's a ruling that is not correct and there's still time to appeal, then if you got selected case, you're probably paying more attention than if you're just someone from the community. So that's also helps make the courts strong, right? And you can also appeal a case and earn with that if you overturn a case. So yeah, lots of opportunities in the curation court.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Fortunato. Let's continue. I'm getting some private messages asking me if I'm going to dance or sing in a future edition of the podcast. Why not? Why not? We are in this is the world of the socials. This is the world of networks. So if people want us to dance or sing, I think I'm better at singing than dancing. Let me just introduce William by saying that at some point in the past, we actually sang together La Bohème during the DevCon in Prague. Am I wrong, William?
No, that's true. You sung well. If you want to sing on the community call, that would be interesting. We should get Clement here. He can dance.
He's a dancer more than a singer, but we will let us practice a bit. Maybe we can put a bunch of options, and then we will see which one is for us more easier. And there is a non-zero chance for this happening. Yeah, go ahead, William.
Yeah, I'm continuing to think about different sort of modular behavior different courts can have. Is these new types of use cases have different requirements. The courts that require SBTs and such. I think a lot about the mechanism design, what that means for attack resistance, and how things compose. Particularly in the last week or so, I've been thinking a lot about how the core contract, the sort of most basic contract of V2 that calls all the dispute kits and the other modules. Thinking about like making sure that it's future-proof to allow for all of the modular behavior we want, is we're expecting it to be audited soon and start to ossify. We want the like sort of modular skeleton that can eventually call these other mechanisms, which we may or may not even have invented yet, to not be too constricting. So thinking a lot about that, sort of finalizing the base layer so that you can like build cool stuff on top of it.
Cool. Okay. About that, then we're going to, nothing else from research. No, just one thing I'm going to mention. With William, we are actually writing a chapter about decentralized justice and AI for a very prestigious publication. I cannot really say, because I was not allowed, I will ask a chapter about decentralized justice and AI. So this is about the future of law, and then we were like honored that we were asked to write about this, which is a super cool topic, and we are doing lots of research about that, like testing. Because what I find is that there's lots of people actually like writing about AI and law, and not lots of people practicing it. And we are actually like doing practicing it, and also our jurors, when they resolve cases, they also many times they use AI, even if they interface with Kleros as it's a traditional interface, front end writing, but they receive the case, they turn and they ask AI about the case, and then they turn back and then they make what the AI said. So we are doing lots of research now about could we have AI resolve cases instead of Kleros? But which AI? Because AIs give you sometimes different decisions. So an AI, maybe Gemini, will reach a different outcome than ChatGPT, or ChatGPT 5. It's different from 4.0. So there is a lot of things to dig into when you go into the rabbit hole of Kleros and AI and law and AI in general. So you will hear more about this from us, and if you cannot wait, I recommend that you take a look at some of the videos that we did at the King's College conference in April. There was a full panel where me and others, and also William, explained about the interfaces between Kleros and AI, and I explained some of the tests we did with the football, and goals, and imagine Kleros being like the VAR deciding the cases. Some really, really cool things and research, and then ideally applications will come from that. Anything else from you, William?
Nope. The research for the AI article is interesting. I look forward to people being able to read that.
Awesome. Thank you, William. Okay, Jean, do you think you want to comment a bit on community stuff?
I recommend everyone to check the edit by Dudu, Federico. It's great. The main point of the week. I'm kidding. But we had a proposal that was being voted on the DAO about adjusting the incentive for jurors. So right now, if you have been following, you might know that the APY for staking in the court is around 30% or 25%, depending on mainnet, if you're staking on mainnet or Gnosis chain. And there is a target of having 50% of the tokens staked, because that's the main objective of having a token is actually securing the court and getting cases. And we had a percentage increase every month when that target was not reached. So this proposal reduces this percentage increase to half of what it is now. So in theory, it should generate the APY should not continue to grow as much. To put it simply, right? And as far as I last time I checked, the proposal was being approved. I think it probably already ended. And one interesting thing about this proposal is that we also had a future key markets about the impact of the proposal would have on price if it was approved or if it was not approved. And also, last time I checked it, the market predicted like a positive price impact on the proposal. And in this case, the future key markets were not. They were created for information purposes, so people could guide themselves by the market. I don't know if that really happened, but I think it's a good experiment that we are doing. We've done it also for the previous proposal, and it's also a great way for people to experience future key on a live proposal.
Good. Okay. Thank you, Jit. I guess we are almost wrapping up here. Just mentioning that. Well, the team is preparing. We mentioned already the V2 controlled audits. We are in the last stages for that. And that's from the development point of view. We will try to have next week maybe JV come and tell us a bit about the different what is going on and what is coming up regarding development, which is super exciting because we're in the last stages before sending all of the smart contracts to audit. Last thing worth commenting, also the team is going to meet again at the DevConnect conference in November in Buenos Aires. We will, as you know, we typically meet twice a year, one at the HCC conference in France, and the other one at DevCon or DevConnect, depending which one happens different years. And this time it's DevConnect in Buenos Aires in November, so we will be there. That's going to be super cool, and I'm very happy because I will be able to bring everyone to the World Capital of Crypto, where Kleros started. Not only Kleros, Open Zeppelin, lots of the projects. I don't want to mention them because I will forget one of them, and they will say, "Oh, Federico, you didn't mention our project." So yeah. So that in November, and before DevConnect, there's going to be a pop-up city happening in San Martín de los Andes. This is in Patagonia. It's one of the most beautiful places in the world. I'm super. I mean, someday I will retire there. I mean, this is perfect. Lake, mountains. Trees, water sports, hiking. I mean, this is that is awesome. So if you can go to both things, you're welcome. And we will be doing at this pop-up city a workshop by Marcos and Facu. I will see if I can go. Not sure about our experience in working with enterprise like customers. So one of the things that are happening now in the Web3 ecosystem is that lots of projects are trying to interface and work with institutions and companies, governments, because they have big problems to solve, and crypto and blockchain can be a good way to solve them. And we are, I mean, I don't want this to sound arrogant, but we are one of the projects that have been doing this since very, very early days. When we applied years ago for the grant by a French bank called BPI, it's a public bank financing innovation project. The goal was to build infrastructure for Kleros to be able to work with enterprise and institution customers. Well, you have seen, I mean, all of the discussion we had today about the ombudsman, the result of years of investment on, different things, creating legitimacy, doing speaking with regulators, speaking with enterprises, speaking with Congress people, going to conferences, producing lots of work, academic work. So all of that, in the end, results in earning the trust of different entities to actually want to do things with us. So that's extremely, makes me very proud that we have achieved that. It took like 7 years to do, but we are getting there. So yeah, I mean, and I think that hopefully our experience doing this will be useful for other blockchain projects that are now starting in this path. And the Ethereum Foundation, we have been in touch a lot with them lately to share with them our experience addressing these segments. And yeah, hopefully this can help bring blockchain into the world. That is what we always wanted since the beginning. Okay, anything else, Jean, do we want to mention today?
Yes, since you mentioned like Argentinian projects, next week we will have Juan Samitier in our community call. He will be talking about DAM Capital, the project that he is working on, that will use Kleros Curate. I won't spoil much about it, but if you have been following, you already know what we are doing. I think it's pretty interesting. There's lots of material of them on Twitter. I recommend checking them out if you want some spoilers.
Awesome. Well, I guess that's it for today. So next time we will meet is on next Monday at 9 p.m. UTC. That is 6 p.m. Argentina time. We will have the community call in Spanish. We will also explain a bit the ombudsman news in Spanish, of course. So yeah, I guess until then, well, thank you all for coming. And I will start practicing LabOM for doing the song at some point in the future with William. But let us practice a bit first. Thank you, guys. See you next Monday at 6 p.m. Argentina, 9 p.m. UTC. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. See you.